We also get to see the quarterbacks on full display for one final time. This might be the last time that we see Drew Aller or Will Howard play in a game this year. It's completely in the realm of possibility unless injuries or ineffective play or just a bunch of circumstances that a bunch of things would need to play out that we just don't see coming right now for that to actually happen. It would be another Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph type situation after Big Ben gets hurt. Mason would need an injury unless somebody overpays and wants to trade for him and gives you like a third-round pick or something or a fourth-round pick. Or if Aaron Rodgers goes down early in the year, has an extended injury, maybe they decide to play one of the youngsters. This is it. This is the last opportunity. And you get a chance because both quarterbacks had one good game. Both quarterbacks had one bad game. I would say Aller's wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was a bad game for Will Howard. This is an opportunity. Just like Meatloaf once said, the artist Meatloaf, Joel, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So if you're Will Howard, I think in a way you're playing for a roster spot tonight. You threw out a clunker in the last game, threw a terrible interception against the Jets in the first one. Second one, you could partially blame Roman Wilson for that. The route wasn't great. The throw wasn't good either. Out of all the drives that Will Howard has put out there, they scored no points in the last game. And in the first game, productive drives, they stall out, not being able to overcome adversity and not being the reason why your team is in the best position every offensive drive. That's just how I felt about Will Howard. This is a chance, though. This is another opportunity for Will Howard to prove I deserve to still be on this roster. Everything that has been said about me, from Mike McCarthy to Omar Khan to Art Rooney saying, we do believe in Will Howard and we think we have something here in Will Howard, and Will Howard won a national championship and that can translate, and we really like Will, going out of their way to say, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, we don't know if he's coming back, but we really love Will Howard. We've kind of just been waiting and waiting and waiting. Isn't it fun waiting? To find out what that truly means. To find what the Steelers see in Will Howard. And is a half of preseason football truly going to be able to tell you that? Not fully. But what it is going to tell you is ability, athleticism, wow traits. Does he have enough? And so far through the first 2 games, I say no. I would not be shedding tears if Will Howard was cut. Now here comes people on the text line. You're just a Will Howard hater. This is the anti-Ohio State hour here on The Fan. It's the pro-Penn State anti-Ohio State hour. You want Will Howard to fail. You think it's fun talking every single day about a team with a quarterback situation that is in the trash pretty much at times, that ESPN said beginning next year when Aaron Rodgers retires is the worst quarterback room in the entire NFL? Do you think it's fun every day to wake up and know that you don't have a chance to win a championship? I don't think the Steelers feel that way. Multiple parts of the fan base does. And I don't think that Will Howard just has enough God-given ability, physical gifts, similar to how Kenny Pickett did in either, to put it all together and be somebody that can overcome obstacles and your offensive line missing a left tackle or your second receiver being hurt or one of your running backs being banged up to get the job done. Like, there are no traits that stand out to me regarding Will Howard. That doesn't mean he can't be an NFL player in terms of like a backup for many years. Like, he can be Mason Rudolph, and he needs time to be able to develop into that. But I don't think that there is anyone else that should really think, I don't really think there's anybody that should think, after watching those 2 preseason games, yeah, this guy, man, he can be the one that really takes over. If you disagree, 412-928-9370, and you think the baton to Will Howard, it's not going to be at all this year, but next year, Will Howard, he's got what it takes. And Drew Aller has a lot of refinement. But let me just say this. A lot of people that were completely out on Drew Aller have now jumped on my bandwagon. Crowley likes the traits, likes the skill set, likes the ability. Even Pony is starting to change his tune. Joe also starting to buy more into it. Now, none of them are as strongly backing Aller as I have. None of them are standing on a soapbox and saying this guy is the answer to all of the problems like I think he can be. I think there's a pretty solid shot as long as he gets a fair one, as long as he gets a real opportunity and he gets the reins next year, that you can see all the potential and ability that I've been talking about for 2 years with this guy. Like, people bought in, I think, so much to Howard because John Gruden, a texter just said, the John Gruden interview with Will Howard turned a lot of fans to Will Howard. If you haven't watched it yet, maybe you should watch it. Yeah, I did. John Gruden has also gotten a lot of predictions wrong. John Gruden has loved pretty much every single quarterback in every draft class. Like, I don't think we should take John Gruden as the voice of, as the football god here. As the overseer of football, what John Gruden says rules. If John Gruden says it, it has to be right. You need to be able to form your own opinion based on your eyes, based on what you watch. And what I've watched so far with Will Howard, get out of here with this BS with bias and Ohio State and all that. I don't care about that. I want the Steelers to win. It's more fun when we get to sit in these chairs and talk to you at 412-928-9370 with a team that is good, not the average malcontent type of attitude that we've had over this because they're an average football team, and they've been an average football team for a decade. I want Will Howard to be the franchise quarterback for them so that we stop talking about stuff like this, so that the search for a quarterback is over. If Will Howard could become that, I would applaud it. I'd be the first one to go up there, shake his hand like he's, like you're walking across the stage and at graduation, or you meet your heroes at Giant Eagle back in the day when they're doing signings, or you go up to Baseball Card Castle for a signing and you meet the players and they become your heroes and please take us to the promised land. If Will Howard's able to do that, I have no problem with it whatsoever. He could have went to Southeastern Missouri State. Isn't that where Brett Favre went? Regardless, none of that should matter for people. And I think that that's starting to get out of people's minds. But the point is, tonight, we get a chance for the final time to watch these guys play. Who is going to start? We don't know. We still don't know. It's like when the Pirates decide to make a roster move late and their lineup, tick-tock, needs to be put in. Send in your lineup to the scorer's table, please. The game begins in an hour, and we don't know who the starting quarterback is. So it's a little weird. Obviously, if it was at home, we get a better indication because they're going to announce it on the Jumbotron. But I have not seen anything from our Nick Farabahs of the world, from Brooke Pryor of ESPN. Brooke put out Will Howard, Drew Aller, first Steelers quarterbacks out there earlier this week. Mike McCarthy said the young guys would once again be the focus. This is a chance for Drew Aller, I think, to cement himself as quarterback 3. This is a chance to show Mike McCarthy, and people have said they've gone back and watched game 2 and it looked better for Aller than they would have thought. Yeah, because there were only 6 drops. The balls that he threw on that final drive were right there, and receivers that are not going to be on rosters or maybe even practice squads just couldn't catch the ball. It's an opportunity for Drew Aller to take that next step and for Will Howard to make an impression on this coaching staff that he still belongs. Jeff Hathorn, our 93.7 The Fan insider, does not have Will Howard on the 53-man roster. He went to Ohio State, if you want to play that game. Doesn't have him on the 53. Other insiders continue to say they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. I think they ultimately will. But Will Howard, you're playing for QB3 right now, not QB4. If you want to be QB3, dressed again on game day, or not risk going to the practice squad, if they keep 4 quarterbacks, one's on the practice squad, that's also, I think, up for grabs. If Will Howard stinks in this game and they decide to cut him, there's a lesser chance that somebody is going to pick him up off of waivers, considering a lot of teams keep 2 quarterbacks, and maybe they keep 3, or they stash somebody on the practice squad, and it basically becomes Will Howard versus himself in this game. And for Drew Aller, it's, can you continue to build with footwork, with the wow type of throws? If he starts the game playing with higher quality talent and also going up against higher quality talent. And if he throws up on himself, we're going to react to that. We're going to evaluate what happened and how it happened. But so far, what your eyes have told you, I'm curious of at 412-928-9370, because my eyes have told me that Will Howard, he does some of the little things right. But when it gets chaotic, when the pocket breaks down, it gets to be a problem. Drew Aller, he can make the big throws. He's starting to hit more of the layups. It's a little bit dicey under pressure. How's the footwork? But you could just tell the ability, the traits, the skill set, the arm talent. He's built in a lab. And as long as this coaching staff can get it out of him, that's the guy that you want to develop. And you have a whole year to do so before you decide if you want to take a quarterback in the first round in 2027 or not.